who have inspired so many of my songs through the years. Our oldest daughter, Emily, is now 25 years old. She is living in Belfast, Northern Ireland, going to school there with her husband, Tanner. And she came home Easter and announced to us with her husband that we are going to be grandma and grandpa. We're going to have our first grandbaby, which is so very, very exciting for us. And we've been trying to figure out what we want to be called, because that's kind of one of those things that it doesn't really matter, I know, because whatever we come up with, you know, whatever comes out of the mouth of that little one first is going to be what we're called forever. And it'll be perfect and beautiful in every way, but we can't, you know, help but throw out a few ideas. So I've been thinking, since, you know, we're such ridiculously young grandparents, you know, that maybe something like Grand Dude would be cool. Yeah? And I was thinking for my wife, Grand Babe, because she's a babe, and so Grand Babe, Grand Dude. I'm just throwing it out, you know, whatever. Anyway, so very, very excited about that. So thrilled and so thankful. And Emily is such a gift and such a blessing, and has been in our lives. And she's inspired a lot of my music. But I thought, you know, just a few little pieces of some songs that you might remember from the songs and stories of years gone by. She inspired this song. I found her and her mom one day sitting in the floor crying together. I walked in the house. Emily was about 11 years old, 12 years old, somewhere in there. She was getting ready to start middle school, and she had been shopping with her mom for clothes. And I walked in the room, and there were clothes laying all over the room, and bags open, and they sat in the middle of the floor crying. And I walked in the room, and everything in me as a man wanted to slowly back out of the room. Because that's a scary thing. Not just one, but two of my girls crying. And my wife, and you know, being one of them. So I was like, okay, engage. So I walked in and I sat on the ground with them and found out that Emily was just heartbroken because none of the clothes fit right. None of them looked like they did in the magazine or on the mannequin in the window. And she hated her body and hated her life and all those things, and it just broke my heart. And of course, it pushed a lot of buttons in my wife, who had felt the same way at that same age in her life. And so, you know, a lot of times us guys have these really great things to say. We want to try to fix it, right? Because we're fixers. And God gave me enough sense in that moment, because sometimes our timing isn't great. And I thought, I don't think right now is the time to try to tell my daughter how beautiful and perfect I think she is in every way, because she really don't want to hear that right now. I just need to sit with them and cry. And I did, because it broke my heart. And but I later wrote this song for Emily, and see if some of you remember this one. I can see the tears filling your eyes, and I know where they're coming from. They're coming from a heart that's broken in two by what you don't see. The person in the mirror doesn't look like the magazine. Oh, when I look at you, it's clear to me that I can see the fingerprints of God. When I look at you, oh, I can see the fingerprints of God. And I know it's true, you're a masterpiece in our creation.